Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and in this video I'm going to be showing guys how to make a user's registration form using PHP. And this video is going to be in two parts. The first part is going to be how to make the user's registration form using PHP, and the second part is going to be how to log in those users that I have created using PHP. And please, sorry for the bad audio because the rain is actually falling where I am now, my location. And please note, this video is not going to cover how to make the body using HTML and CSS and Bootstrap. What this video is going to focus mainly on is how to make this using PHP, how to get data and process it and send it to the database using PHP. So if you have any prior knowledge of HTML and CSS, I'll advise you check out my videos on form and input types. So let me give you a quick demo of how this would work. So first of all, we're going to start with the validation. Let's try something an empty form. We can see it gives us a little pop-up here. Please fill out this field. And if I've watched my input types, that is a new HTML5 feature that is the required feature. So let's fill out the name, and if we try to submit this again, it asks us to fill out this field. And let me just give you a brief description. Let's see if I try filling up some gibberish. We could see that it's a validation for email specifically. So let's just fill out the email and the address and the job details and about the job. Let's just say this is a nice job, and let's give an URL, a telephone number, and you can see if I'm trying to type in some text now, this is not going to work because this is an input type for numbers. So, and one other thing again to note, I also made a verification for a validation for the passwords. So if the password and the confirmed password doesn't match, it's going to bring out an error. So let's just try that and see. Let's make the password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and the confirmed password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Sorry about that. Let's just okay. And now the two passwords are not the same. And you can see it comes an error that your password and your confirmed password do not match. Please try again. So let's just fill everything normally as we would fill that. And you can see when we filled out the form correctly, we could get a prompt or an alert which says user successful. So let's go to our database now and check the values we just imputed. So let me refresh my database. And we can see the form we just filled, the values we got from the form. We could see the name, the email address, the job details, the URL, the phone number, the password, and the password. This password is hashed, and I'll show you how to hash a password too. The job description, the location. So let's jump right into the code and let me explain, because I've already coded this. So I'm just going to be explaining to you guys because I think it's going to be a waste of time recording this. So I'm going to explain to you guys in details what each code does. So let me jump right into my code editor. I'm using brackets. So this is my code editor, and let me go to my sign in. my sign up, sorry for that. And this is just a basic sign up form with my classes, my this is meta names, my links, my logo and stuffs like that that is not part of this video. So let's go to this main stuff, the main form itself. Okay, this is the form itself, and you could see the required tags I was telling you guys about. And if you want to learn more about that, just check out my video or check out some other videos on YouTube about that. This is the form itself, and let's see where the form action is set. The form action is set to itself, it's not set to anything. So we could see that this form is not set to anything, it's set to itself. So where we click the submit button, it's actually submitting it to itself. And we could see here we included a code, and this code we included process.php. that is where the PHP itself is, the PHP code that does the dirty work of transporting the files or the data from the web page to the database. We can see that here the include.php, we included the page, the process.php with this code here, include.php, include, then two brackets, then a quotation mark, then process.php. And we are still going to go into the process.php page, but let me show you another place I called the function. So this is another code here that if the button is clicked, let it run a function submit value. And the process.php, that's why I created the function submit value. And this is just a code, this one here, if it sets this, if it sets post button, it makes sure that the button is clicked before executing this code. So you don't get the execution of the code without the button being clicked, unless it's going to be showing us tons and tons of errors, because nothing is going to be, the variables, everything is going to be empty, it's going to be null, and it's going to give us tons and tons of errors. So that is what this piece of code is to check if the button is set. And this is an if statement, and is set is a, should I say, is a function. There is a function because it has two brackets. It's a function that checks if the button is set. And this $_post is a code in PHP to get the button, to get values from the button. Let's just keep it like that, because the button, the form action is set as post, or the method is set as post. Sorry about that. The form method is set as post, as you can see it here, is set as post. So if it does a get method, we are going to put $_get. And let's say you don't remember what you actually set it, you can just put the request, but I'm not going to go into that today. So that is this code, just to check if the button is clicked, let it run this function. And let's go to the process.php to see the main function. And we could see here, we could see me defining the function submit value. And why I created this to be a function is that you could see in the last page, I made a code include PHP, include process.php. Sorry about that, I made that code. And let's say if this wasn't in a function, or if this was not a function, this code is going to run first before the web page, and that's still going to generate lots and lots of errors. So I decided to encapsulate everything in a function, the whole code. I decided to encapsulate it in a function, so I'm going to run it where exactly I wanted it to run. Because if I just set it like this and I included the process.php, the code was going to run just like that without anything happening, like without me clicking the button or anything happening. And you could see in the former page, I made in an if statement that if the button is clicked, that if button $_post button is set, that it should execute this function. And that's just the main reason of me putting this in a function, so that I'll have more flexibility to be able to call the code where exactly I want it. So it's not going to be popping up in the screen or on the top of the page. So let me give you an instance. Let's say I didn't want this to put this in a function. I would have just put everything like this code starting from here. I'll just put everything at the top of the page. Then I'm going to put the self submit or the action to be null as it is. So I didn't want that. So I wanted a little bit of flexibility. So I just created it like this. So let's continue with that. And we could see here, this is the validation that if the password, and before I go there, let me go to this page, the config.php, and the config.php, that is where my variables are set. That is my param password, my param confirm password, my login error, those stuffs. Okay, the login error, this is the difference. This is a boot class strap, a bootstrap class, sorry to say, a bootstrap class to make the error more stylish, and this is the error. So let me just show you the config.php, and we could see this is just like a place where I set all my variable. I got the variable from the form, and you could see this is just to trim, is a trim function, like it's for security purposes, so that to remove any slash and stuff like that, to prevent attacks like SQL injection and stuff like that. And this address to convert it to Lua. And why I converted this address to Lua is for the search. And in my last video I made a video about search box. This is just to make the address, everything to be lowercase, so that you're not gonna have problem when searching. And you could see this is just a variable definition, should I say variable definition page, where I defined all my variables. Yeah, this for security reasons. I defined everything and set everything to null, and my errors I set everything to null. Then I decided to set everything. And here also I also defined my database, where I also set my database. And you can see here my server name, localhost, my username, root, my password is not a pass, I've not set any password in my database, so it's just empty. The name of the database is connect, and here I created a string to connect to my database. That is new, my SQLi, the server name, the username, the password, and the database. And this is just an if statement to check if it's connected, and if it's not connected, it's going to send me this error connection field. And that's that for now. Let's go back to the main page where the magic happens. That is the process.php. So let me just look for the page, process.php. Okay, and now we are back to our process.php. And as I said earlier, this is just an if statement to check if the password and the confirmed password is the same. And let me just read out the code so you guys should understand it more. If the password is exactly equal to the confirmed password, run this code. That is just what this thing is about. If the password and the password and the confirmed password is equal to each other. And don't be fooled by this login error. This login error is, I made a variable called login error. You can name it login success, because this actually alerts the user success. And this div class alert success is just a bootstrap class. And if the password and the confirmed password is equal to each other, then let it run this code. And if it's not equal to each other, this is where the else statement, because I encapsulated the whole code inside there, and this is the else statement. Let it run this code, and you can see that these two variables are not the same. This is login error p, and this is login. I can name this login success, but I just decided to name it login error. And I can decide to name the two login error because the two codes can't run at the same time, but I just decided to name it different stuffs. And this is the code, or the else statement. This is an if statement, and this is an else statement. That if the confirmed password and the password do not match exactly, let it run this code. And this is also a bootstrap class. Alert danger, please, your password and your confirm password do not match, please try again. And we echo it here. And why we encapsulated everything in login error, so that we'll be able to get the div class or the bootstrap class. Because if we would have just set this to be confirm password and password does not match, because we wanted a little bit of that color. Let me show you something here. The color, okay, sorry about that. And you can see this, if the config, if we left everything up like that without putting a function, this is the error is going to show. But we don't want that now. We want the user page. Let me just go to my index. So I'll be able to see the user page. That is index. And for the color, that the way I put the bootstrap class, the error that it echoed out. Let me just fill this again to show you guys what I was talking about. We would have just put a normal text, your password and your confirm password is incorrect, but we wanted the bootstrap class, so we'll not be able to, so we won't have to style that in CSS, using CSS again. So that is just about that. And if you want to learn more about bootstrap, I'll be posting videos about bootstrap, how to use bootstrap in future tutorials. So let's go right into where the main magic happens. So if the password and the confirm password is exactly equal to each other, run this code, and then also run this code. And this code is an SQL code, or let's say it's a PHP code. It's an SQL code actually. Because why I say it's an SQL code, not a PHP code, because if you go to your database, sorry about this, if you go to your database and you go to the SQL section, you're going to see codes like this. So this is actually an SQL code, but in a PHP, because PHP and the SQL, they are like interwoven. So let's just leave it like that. Let me don't confuse you guys more. Let me don't confuse you guys. So this, I made everything into a variable that is SQL, and to create variables in PHP, you just use the $sign and anything you want to do, and then equal to, then in parentheses. So that is just for that. And what I actually did was insert into, that's the values I got, because I've already gotten all the values, insert into these fields on the database table, or the columns, and insert into job. Job is the name of the table. The name of the table, the name of the database itself is connect. Why the name of the table I want to insert my values that I got from the users is jobs. And I wanted to insert into these ones, because the database, the tables are two, that's for individuals and business, and since we're working on the individuals table, it's still the same form. So I wanted it to insert into, these are columns on the database. You could see ID in business name. So let me just show you guys this on the database. You can see ID, business name, the business job. These are columns on the database. So I want the values I got to be inserted into the column on the database. So that is the use of that code. And let it insert the values to the one that corresponds. So you want to insert to the individual's name, the individual's email, the individual's job details. Why these ones, they're going to be null, all these other ones. Why if it was the business? Because this database or this form is for two tables, or to get the users values from two different forms. Sorry about that, it's not tables, from two different forms. So this is just to insert into the individual's name, the individual's email, the individual job details, and so on. And these are the values that were insert. And when I told you before that this is going to be null, because this I'm not inputting anything into the business name, the business email, and the business job and stuff like that. This is the values, and when assigning the values, I made the ID none and I made every other stuffs null. Then this with the table or the column I wanted to impute the values into, that's why I gave it the name. I inserted the column. Okay, let me just explain in layman terms. I have a big database and I want to put values from two tables, and I don't want to create from two forms, sorry, and I don't want to create two new tables, because let's say I'm lazy, I don't want to create two new tables. I just need to create a big table that's going to collect data from two different forms. And why I created the same table for two different forms, because I want the tables to be together as one but connected to two different forms. So that's why I created this. And this for the business name, the business, and there's another table where values come into, or where that receive values for this, but this is not in this script. Now that is out of the scope of this lesson. So but if you're creating your own normal this, I don't think you're going to need all this. You're just going to need the values and the table you're going to need. So I set this as null. That is empty. But this, I set this as null because this is an ID, a primary key, and also onto increment. So I set it as null. And the ones I wanted something to be like the individual name, individual email, individual job details, I set the values. So what this code does, let me just show you the code on my SQL, my database itself. Let's see insert. Let's go to the insert, so you're going to see the code. So I'll be able to explain to you guys the code in depth. Let's see preview SQL. So we can see it here, insert into jobs and the values. So this is the table you want to insert into, and this is the values you want to insert to. So as you can see here, everything here is null now. As you can see here, the columns I want to insert values into, and the values. So this is the column and this is the values. Like we can see here in opening bracket and the closing bracket, and then we have the values. So this insert into jobs, then the column, then the values, then a new open and close bracket, then you put the values you want to insert into. Okay, that is just a little bit code. And one other trick I learned after creating your database, instead of you typing all this into it, you can just go here, copy this code and paste, then insert your values here. So that is just an easy trick. Instead of you typing everything again, that is just a very easy trick to do. So let's go back to the next code. The next code, this is to check if the connection to the SQL was successful. So if it's this code, if it's actually connected to the SQL and sent the values to the database, it's going to echo this code, that is new record successfully created, or new record created successfully. But if it does not, it's going to echo the error, and this error is just going to echo error and the SQL and a break. This is a line break. The SQL is this, that is this exact code. It's going to echo, let's say that if the values, then it's going to echo that the values could not be inserted into the database, and the connection error. And this connection error is also, should I say, is like an SQL stuff, an SQL error. So that's an embedded SQL error. That is what this is, the connection, then dash, then I think this is a less than or greater than, then error. Then we are going to close the connection. But else, and this else statement, I've explained this before, is for this if statement here. The else statement is for the if statement here, and you can see this when this little highlight here, it's also highlight here, is for this if statement, and I've explained this code before, so I'm not going to be explaining it again. So let's just go a brief summary of this. This checks if the password and the confirmed password is exactly the same. That is why it's an equal to. If it was an equal to, exclamation equal to, that is if it's not the same. But if it's exactly the same, then run this code, and when it has run this code, then echo that the user has successfully created. If the password and the confirmed password is the same, then insert it into a database. But why I decided to make everything, I encapsulated everything in an if statement, is that, let's say if the password and the confirmed password was not the same and it echoed the code, and this exact code here was not inside this if statement, it's going to still put the values in the database, but it's going to be wrong values. So that is just like a means of verification. And if you enjoyed this video, please share it, subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to be dropping a link to my WhatsApp TV, on my WhatsApp closed group, where I'm going to be coding this and explaining it in more details. And for that, it's just going to be a little fee of 500 naira. Yeah, I'm going to be coding this and explaining it in depthly in my WhatsApp group. I think I'm going to be posting the link either in this video and some upcoming videos. I think in this video I'm going to be posting the link. So thanks very much and peace out.